Hello Virgo, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of March 19th through 25th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I'm providing. Okay. Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And look at this, 4 of discs. A lovely card. I'm going to put that into some context. And as I do that, I want to say that if there's anything... Ooh, a lot of air here. If there's anything that you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know in the comments down below, okay? We do have a tremendous amount of air in the and we end with air. My goodness. Okay. A lot of air to deal with today. A lot. We're going to do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. And we're not going to look at this one until the very end of things. And we're going to leave that right there. Hopefully that'll tie everything together, give us the confirmation that we need at the end, and hopefully disperse some of this air. I feel like there's just too much air going on. Too much thinking, too much talking, too much debate, too much like trying to exchange information. It just feels like an information overload, right? Too much air. The air is starting to get thick and heavy. Maybe a lot of smog is settling down on our week, okay? First is this 4 of discs or pentacles. You're someone who is, I think you're a very generous person. I think you're very nurturing, right? I think you're very responsible. I think that you like to have things in a kind of an orderly way. You know, I think that you are warm and welcoming and very generous with your time, with your space in particular, as long as people don't really upset the balance that you have. You know, you all can come over and hang out, but just don't move the furniture around, don't break anything, don't put your feet on the table, don't mess up my bookshelf that's nice and organized. I feel like you're very organized, you know. I think that you really enjoy the routine of things. You enjoy things being in their place. You enjoy having kind of a predictable day, you know. I think you're someone focused on health and fitness. So you maybe, go to the gym at a certain time every day. Then you've got your work. Or you've got your other activities, like kind of what you spend your day doing. If you're building your home, if you're still working on your career, it's kind of a scheduled thing. You know, I feel there's a lot of scheduling going on, and that could be one reason why we see a lot of air here. Is that there is this kind of maybe almost a rigid routine with you. You know, that things really have to be a certain way. And any of this disruption kind of leads to disaster, right? And when we look at these cards, we really see your, this 4 of discs, right? This routine, very structured and organized, very strong and focused kind of energy as well. But very, almost predictable, very scheduled. And then we see some really disruptive air energy, kind of from both sides here, from the past and from the top. And then down below, we start getting into some water energy, right? With the Queen of Swords, with the 6 of Cups. They're both some watery energy, okay? So it really, I feel, as if these cards are talking about the need to really break from this routine. Right? We need some spontaneity. We need this Fool, okay? And we're jumping right to the end of the reading, okay? The Fool energy at the very end. This is someone who is not scheduled, has no routine. This person is full of surprises. Everything they do is a surprise because you can't pin them down. There's no routine. There's no schedule. There's no predictability with this. This is pure air, spontaneous, going wherever the wind blows. you know? And the thing about the Fool is that the wind that's blowing that Fool is its own spirit. So we're going, or the Fool anyway, is going where the Spirit moves them to go. Okay? We've created such a routine in our body and mind, right, with the air and with this earth energy. We've created a very rigid structure. Okay? And I feel like this is kind of like a tower that we're building. I almost wonder if this is going to be the tower energy over here in that mystery card. Because it feels like we're kind of building these walls up higher and higher and higher as we go. We're reinforcing this routine, this structure, this predictability, this almost robotic way of getting through life. I almost feel like you kind of wake up each morning and you think, you know, well, maybe for an instant, right? Because I think you have your calendars and your lists and your schedules and your reminders and your, you know, you almost think, gosh, how many days has it been? Like, I can't believe we're already, well, we're going to be spring now here, you know, in the northern hemisphere. It seems like winter was just yesterday. So I feel like every day is very routine and very scheduled, that they just pass by so quickly. You know, the calendar is just flipping pages faster and faster. I don't know if anybody has paper calendars anymore. Anyway, a lot of routine, a lot of structure. Okay. And I think, really, I think things are passing you by. You know, I think there is a need for some spontaneity. There is a need for all of this air to come in and really shake things up, right? The air is trying to kind of get in to this tower. The air, the thing about the air, okay, is the air is going to blow, right? The wind is going to blow, and it's going to try to find any little crack in your tower, any window that's not sealed properly, any gap in the bricks or anything where it can get in, and then you'll feel that draft, right? The air, the wind is very persistent, right? Is always checking for a weak point or a little gap, a little space that it can get in, and then you just feel that, you feel the draft, you feel the cold air coming in, you know? So as airtight as you think this tower may be, your routine, your schedule, your structure, it's not. This air is going to get in there. And that air, again, is kind of the spiritual air, right? It's the breath, it's the spirit. So why are we in this position? Well, a lot of this Eight of Swords in the past. Now I wonder if this is a specific event in your life. I wonder if you maybe had a kind of negative experience being carefree, being spontaneous. Could be when you were a child or, you know, a young adult. But I kind of feel like you were at one time in your life, you were very carefree, right? I mean, we all were, I imagine, at some point in our childhood. But I think there was a moment where a lot of that changed for you, you know? And I don't know, I can't really get a feel if this was like a sudden kind of thing, like one particular event and then you just kind of, your energy changed, or if it's a more gradual change, more gradual thing. I feel like there's some influence from a father figure here, from, you know, a male kind of energy, a guardian, you know, parent or something, a fatherly type of energy. Maybe the person that raised you. I feel like it may be a more gradual thing, that you kind of, your energy started to shift, and it feels like it was a slow change, but I feel like you just kind of woke up one day and you were in this way, this routine, you know? So I don't know that this was a specific event, or if it was just a series of events through our upbringing that has kind of led us to keep ourselves kind of safe and sound in this in this routine, in this box that we've kind of built for ourselves, you know. And what's currently going on, interestingly, is, okay, this card is ruled by, what is that? Jupiter, right? Jupiter in Gemini. And this is the Sun in Gemini. So this is kind of like, with the 10 here, we're illuminating all of these issues from the past. Okay, this is kind of dark. It's still kind of uncertain. It's maybe a long time ago. It was over years and years, and it's just, you know, it's not very clear exactly what all of that was. But this 10 of Swords is bringing everything to a new light. This is really, it's very interesting that we have so many solar influences here, because the 4 of Discs is the Sun in Capricorn. The 6 of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio. So then we also have the Sun in Gemini with this one. So it feels like there's a lot of this kind of solar influence. Even though we don't have the Sun card, we don't have a lot of, you know, fire energy. We barely have any at all up here. But we do have this solar influence. And so I think what's going on is we're going to be receiving this clarity, right? This illumination is coming. And it's illuminating both your physical environment, the routine of your daily world. It's illuminating your thought process, your patterns, your habits of thinking and responding and reacting, the mental plane, right? And it's also coming to illumine your emotional plane, right? Your desires, your feelings, your sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, your sense of, are your desires being fulfilled? Okay. So I really feel like that solar influence is coming, and it's really bringing a clarity with it. Okay. I think what is also kind of influencing you is this more air energy. This is, I think, intensely related to the 8 of Swords from the past, from childhood, young adulthood. I think that there are a lot of memories that you kind of hang on to. Now, it's not the clarity that we're talking about with the solar influence. It's more of just a almost debilitating memory, right? We're living in some memories that are reinforcing this this energy. I don't know what else to call it. Reinforcing this kind of lifestyle, this energy that we've grown into. Okay, so it is. It's like you keep going through the scenarios, you keep going through these little events, these memories that maybe just kind of come out of nowhere, and you'll remember something, and you'll feel that all over again. You know, you'll feel the effects of that event. If it was a negative emotional kind of energy at the time, here you are feeling it again. You know, the 3 of Swords, it really is being kind of locked in this, in a memory prison almost, especially with that 8 of Swords. It's like these two just feed on each other, right? The more things we remember about our past, young adulthood, childhood, it's painful all over again, and it reinforces the cycle, reinforces the kind of this routine, this 4 of Discs, this almost tower kind of thing that we're building, you know. So I feel like these are the influences kind of on why we are where we are right now. Okay. And what I like about this one in particular, the 10 of Swords, is that we're beginning to see things for what they are, right? We're beginning to kind of use our mind, really, to look at our minds and say, this has been a kind of really, this has gone on long enough, you know? You can see that the ego, or certain parts of our ego, have kind of taken over and taken control. And yes, it's probably doing it for self-protection, self-preservation, but it's keeping us locked in this kind of this routine, this cycle of our lives. And the first step, I think, is allowing this solar energy in to illuminate all of this stuff, to bring to our awareness the physical, mental, and emotional realities of who we are, what we're doing right now. Okay, in present day. The immediate future, we looked at this briefly, the Six of Cups. This is a real kind of, this is like a relief. This is like an easing of the tension that we see with all of this air and how it's affecting our daily lives with the Four of Discs. So through this illumination with this solar energy, there's going to be a real sense of deep breath, relief. And it's going to start feeling better immediately, right? And this is kind of going in the immediate future, saying your life can be so much easier. There can be a relief, a release of this tension, and a much more harmonious, joy-filled, satisfying way of existing. Less rigid, more just, I just keep feeling this relaxed feeling, you know? I'm feeling like all of this tension, and then you get into a hot bath, and it just kind of, it just melts away, right? That's the feeling of the Six of Cups. It's just it's a very good feeling. It's just relaxation, it's peace, it's joy, it's a calm, confident joy and pleasure, you know? It's not agitated, it's just very balanced, very restful and peaceful. And I think that's different than what you have now. I think now with the Four of Pentacles, you probably have a lot of tension, especially in your shoulders. I feel like you probably have a difficult time relaxing. Even if when you do take a bath or a hot shower, I don't think you fully relax, you know? I think it's maybe been a while since you really felt a good relaxation. It's almost like a deep tissue massage is a very distant memory, you know, having that kind of full relaxation. Because I think we carry a lot of this rigid routine structure. We carry a lot of that as tension in our muscles, especially in the back and the shoulders, you know. This person, this air person, I think there's somebody in your life, because we've got these two court cards down here at the bottom of the path of the dove and the serpent. So I think there's an air sign person in your life. And I think that you kind of look at them as an inspiration. I think, maybe inspiration isn't the right word. It's almost as if there is a somewhat unconscious or hidden desire in you to kind of be like that person, right? You look at them, you think, I wish I could be that. You know, they seem very carefree. They seem intelligent. I think this person in your life is very, very tuned into their feelings, right? Very compassionate, very aware of themselves, very, very good at communicating, at expressing their feelings, right? So it's this relief of tension. The tension never gets to build up with them because they're kind of always finding ways to let it out. They have this really kind of easygoing energy about them where you're kind of locked up, kind of rigid. And this person is just flowing, just a real ease, like nothing seems to bother them. Yeah, they have challenges, they get upset, they're human, but they recover fast. And it's just like they just have this really light and airy vibe about them. Okay, so I think that you're trying, and we're moving to the path of the serpent, I think you're trying to kind of emulate that. I think you want that for yourself, and so you're trying to invoke that, right? We've got the Knight of Swords here, fire of the air. You're trying to force that into existence, but it still has that rigid feeling to it, you know? It's like you can't plan your spontaneity. You can't force your freedom, right? It has to come from within, like the Fool energy. The Fool just kind of goes where the wind blows, and that wind is its own spirit. You're trying to force that wind to go in a certain direction, and that's just causing more tension, you know? You're trying too hard. I think the idea is to not try, right? It's that paradox, yeah. You know, you do by not doing, right? very wu-wei here, very Eastern philosophy of effortless action, spontaneous existence, not trying to force anything, not trying to do anything or be anything, just letting things do, letting things be, right? And that's, I think, what you see this person doing. If that's your best friend, your partner, somebody at work, whatever. I think you're seeing them be that way. And you want to do that too, so you're trying. And it doesn't seem to be working. You're getting more tense. So you're kind of on the like verge of just giving up and just saying, well, I don't know how to do this. You know, there is a lot of doubt creeping in now. Okay. Not only do we have these memories that I think you're starting to get this solar illumination. You're starting to kind of see what is going on and what needs to happen. And now you're really trying to make things happen. But as much as you're trying, there seems like there's more opposition. The more you try, the more difficult it gets. Right? 7 of Swords. The more effort we put in, the more resistance we meet with. So I can understand that it is kind of, this is the air, is taking us back into this kind of mental loop, or right back where we started. Not only do we have the 7 of Swords, we have a 7 of Wands as well. So as much as you're trying to force it and force it and force it, you're just locking yourself up. You're just feeling more tired. It's like you're exerting so much mental, spiritual energy to try to force this this more kind of fool energy, or force this kind of freedom or spontaneity, or whatever we're calling it, you know. You're trying to force it so much that you're creating more tension. And this is tension, again, in the shoulders, probably in your back, middle of your back especially, I think. I think the middle of your back. And, you know, it's in the position of your fears and worries, okay? So I think that there is a concern for your physical health. I think that you are starting to get a little bit concerned that all of this is taking a physical toll on you, okay? And that could be, honestly, a good thing, because it'll kind of force you to make changes, okay? But again, not in this kind of forcing things way, not trying to do anything, but learning how to let things do, to let things be and happen, okay? And there's no easy way to do this. You know, there's no easy answer. But I do feel like you're having concerns about your, I feel like your circulatory system or your heart. Maybe you experience some angina or some heart palpitations or something, right? I think that you already are beginning to feel the concern that there is a risk to your health from all of this. Now, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional. This isn't any kind of medical advice or diagnosis, nothing like that. I think you already have a concern about your health, so go to a professional and get it checked out. Make some changes energetically. Right? I think all of this tension, all of this stress, all of this kind of being locked up is taking a physical toll. Okay? And I think you're starting to experience some of these symptoms. Okay? So I encourage you to go to a medical professional. If you're having chest pain, call 911. Okay? Go to the emergency room. Do what you need to do. Okay? Seek immediate care. I don't think it's that severe, but if you are feeling any of these symptoms, please go to the emergency services in your area. The next card is this Fool energy, and this is what we are trying to really get to. So it could be by way of this illumination, this solar energy coming in, where you're just like, wow, okay, I got to do something now. I see how life could be, this ease, this flow, this harmony, this feel-good, hot bath kind of vibe. I see what I'm doing to my physical body. I see how stressed I am mentally and how wound up I am. And it's time to make a fresh start. It's time to really just find some way to get that Holy Spirit in and let it move me, you know? And there really is no easy way to do this. There's no magical answer. The tarot doesn't have a magical answer. The tarot can see what it is that you're aspiring to. It can see why maybe you want to get here. It can see maybe what this would look like. But in terms of the decisions that you have to make in your daily life, moment to moment, the tarot can't predict that. This isn't fortune telling. This is divination. Okay? We're going to go to the mystery card now. Now, the mystery card, I believe, is going to be some fire energy. Because we need, not only do we have this solar energy to give us the clarity, to give us that awareness, that realization that, okay, we've got to make some changes. But we also need that divine influence, that spiritual spark, that force and fire. And I'm thinking 6 of Wands. Because the 6 of Wands is the 3 of Wands plus the 3 of Wands. Okay? So it's that spark, that force, and that fire within you that you're putting forth into the world, setting your intention, right? Acting from spirit. And I think spirit is going to respond in harmony. It's going to mirror you. It's going to match you and resonate with you. So we have the 2 3s coming together to make that 6 of Wands. That's what I believe. Yes, we have the 6 of Wands, thankfully. So this really is, I think, the confirmation of really how you solve all of this. And that is really getting in touch with the spirit, activating your force and your fire, and putting it out into the world without overthinking, without this rigid structure. Just allow the divinity into your life and let it move you. There's really no other way to do it than just to be it and allow it to do, allow it to happen. You know, there's no trying, there's no forcing, there's no effort really on your part. It's almost being receptive. Right? I know we have fire, I know we have the 3 plus the 3, but what does that equal but 6? And that's an even number, and that's more of the yin energy, the passive yielding energy. We have to allow it to happen. Right? We have to recognize our divinity, our spark, our force and fire, and we have to allow that out into the world, and we have to allow the world to resonate with us, allow the divinity in, and it's a openness, it's a yielding, rather than an intentional effort in a certain direction, like we've been trying, I think, with this Knight of Swords. So, Virgo, I really do care about you. I hope that you are feeling good, and I hope that this reading resonates with you, and I hope that we can come together again next week and see how we've progressed on this path. Okay, I think it's a very important time for you. I think as we transition into this new season, I think it's a good time for you to allow this sunshine into your life, to illuminate things, and to allow this kind of, you know, the divine spirit, this holy fool into your life, and kind of allow ourselves to be led in the direction of spirit. Okay. We're going to be doing an extended. If you want to stick around, you can click on the link that's right up there, and you can have access to all of the extended readings. All right. This was your weekly reading, March 19th through 25th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.